Yep. I never left.
I literally saw you run.
Run?
Well, I'm like, I saw you like just make your way in there. And
Oh
then
yeah. So what happened was I left my keys right there. I put on my robe, put my drink here.
rope.
Have you not noticed all the streams? I've been wearing this bathrobe every
No, I've never noticed that you were wearing a bat robe.
Literally go back to every stream. I'm wearing it.
You're wearing bat robes the whole time?
I've commented it on 2 other episodes that I'm wearing a robe.
I'm actually going on my phone right now trying to see if you did. Because, like, the thumbnails would have your robe if you are in a
Sometimes
robe.
I take it off, though. It gets hot.
Well, yeah, you're wearing a robe. Why are you wearing a robe anyways?
Like, this house is, like, very well air conditioned. It's a tiny house with a great air conditioning.
Okay. Oh, I still have the banner that says we'll be beginning shortly. Well, we're beginning now.
Welcome to the pre-show where we're allowed to. I was about to say curse. Even a curse is a curse.
Well, we're cursing anyway, so it doesn't matter. What's up, everybody, and welcome to episode. What episode are we on, Lewis?
Banner says 6.
Banner says 6. We are on episode 6 of We Got Issues, and today's main topic, will be a very doozy one. If you guys notice, I sent out a Instagram there or a tweet or whatever you want to call it. This will be probably the first. It's not going to be a first of many topics that we're going to do.
First, maybe last.
Maybe last, but we're not going to mention it consistently. Okay?
Mostly because I'm not allowed to speak about it ever.
Shut up.
I have a very strong opinions about a lot of things, and I do not share them at work because I'm being paid to do something else, not speak my nonsense.
Well, you can speak your nonsense now again because...
Well, you kind of said you wanted me to speak my nonsense, so my nonsense can go for, like, content dream.
So we're going to... as the topic says, we are going to be talking about Comicsgate. Again, the reason why we're not going to talk about Comicsgate consistently is because, one, we are comic book fans and we talk about comic books and the news of the comic books and what's happening and the major news. And we're not political about anything. We enjoy comic books. That's what we do.
We like them. We hate them.
Yeah.
We shrug it off, but we still buy them.
But we still buy them, man. We
I bought some things I really regret buying, content-wise.
But you still bought it.
God, I still bought them.
Yeah.
Because maybe I support the artist. Maybe I support the writer. They were just having a bad day.
Right.
A lot of them, the writer.
Yeah.
But, like, I want more content. I don't want less.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about, as the main topic there, we're going to talk about Comicsgate and the controversy that is Comicsgate. In the recent months, it has been an uprising in Comicsgate. We're going to talk about their Tom Cruise, if you will, of Comicsgate, the very much outspoken person from Comicsgate. We're a small podcast and we're a small video cast. No one's gonna pick up what we're saying, and what we're saying.
And
what we're saying is essentially our opinion, and Lewis's opinion is Lewis's opinion. My opinion is my opinion. Okay.
Even if we agree, I will go out of my way to disagree.
Yeah. So the one thing that you can take away and what we're about to say about Comicsgate, once we get there, is that form your own opinion at this, okay? No one should change your opinion unless they're a professional, okay? And
please pause the video right now.
Yeah.
Read up on some of it and then come back.
Read up on some of it first and then come back. So, first things first is that...
Very emotional topic.
As always, when we begin our podcast and our video cast podcast on Spotify, so go ahead and follow us on Spotify. You can take us on Spotify anywhere that you want, even in the toilet. You can listen to us. Um, you know,
Best place. Best time to think.
best place I think, yeah. But we're also going to be what we're going to be doing too as well is that as the beginning of our podcast, we are always going to be doing a shameless plug. We always shamelessly plug our own stuff. So, but we're gonna
Man,
we're gonna begin.
I gotta
with
say, what a hell of a topic to start with, and me dying for an ad right now.
So we're gonna
All the
do
blood's gonna
some.
rush to my head soon.
So we're gonna do some plug right now, and one of our shameless plug is essentially what we're gonna be doing. What we're doing right now is that. Oh, well, that's one of them. If you go to our website, comicscorepromotions.com, as you guys know, we do have the 7 Secrets variant cover, exclusive variant cover done by Tony Skeplik. Tony Skeplik is basically one of the newcomers in there too as well. We happen to represent him too as well. He's a really good, talented artist. You're going to be hearing him a lot more often. This is just the very first one of his variant covers. And we sell the variant covers in bundles. So unlike in the past where you guys are used to, between the dress variant and the dress variant and virgin variant as a pack, we are actually going to be selling you guys the main cover as well as there that is the Inhyuk Lee variant cover as a 3-pack, and then there's a secret one that hasn't been revealed yet by Boom Studios. We're selling that too as well. And as you can see in here, we actually we've been getting a lot of text messages, DMs, and emails concerning our 3-pack scale variant cover. So now, when we talk about scale variant covers, that means that a comic book store has to order a certain amount to actually get that variant cover. One of which is basically that one right there. This is a 1 out of 10 cover, so that means we have to order at least 10 to get that one variant cover, and this one is a wraparound, which is a 1 out of 25. So we always tell people that basically the price for that can range from $25 to about $60, but what we're doing here is basically we don't have too much. What we're doing is that for the price of a dual pack set, which is $45, where you get the dress variant and the virgin variant, you can get all 3 books. That means that the scale variant cover for 1 out of 10 to 1 out of 25 is 100% free. You can see right there, we actually lowered down the price to $45 each, so you can pick them out. Since we posted that, there's been a lot of orders coming in. So get online right now or later on and go to comicscorepromotions.com, and you'll see that you can still order that there. On top of that, you might have seen this already. We've announced a couple of days ago that we're going to be hosting a private signing for Scott Williams as well as Alex St. Clair for Scott Williams' exclusive variant cover for X Factor #1. That is going to be happening on August 29th. So if you go on our website, comicscorepromotions.com, you will see that there is an explanation there too as well for individual submissions, so you can definitely mail in your submission, as well as the facilitator submission. We are welcoming all facilitators out there, CGC and CBCS. You can definitely send in your submission. If you want more details on that for individual submission as well as facilitator submission, you can go ahead on our website, comicscorepromotions.com, and then right there, right in the bottom, just answer those questions, fill out that form, and we will get back to you as soon as possible. Just keep in mind that because we are getting a lot of high volume of emails and text messages, give us a few hours or a few days just to respond to you, but we will respond to you as soon as we can. So that is our shameless plug for today. Lewis, you look like you're in a trance there.
No, I'm just like looking at some really bad photos of some people.
What photos?
Alex Sinclair and Scott Williams has some real banger old pictures.
Well, they have been around for a while, so I mean, like,
yeah, but like some of them are like almost cartoonish. Not shitting on them now; they look way better now. I don't know what happened in this like middle portion of their life.
Stress.
We're like, oh, that's a lot. That's a lot, and now it's like you cross that ugly duckling stage, and now you're a swan. I mean, like, man, they've aged well.
They aged well, man. They aged very well, man. Along with
But before they aged well,
you kind of stop in there in the middle of your sentence.
my mama said, if I don't got nothing else to say, might as well say nothing at all.
Oh my god!
I don't want to be mean because they're great talents and they don't deserve my criticism. Like like how like they look like something that came out of Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna look at your submission.
Oh, 1000%. They're gonna find old pictures. So shame on you, because the younger I get, the better looking I become. This is the ugly duckling stage.
You know what's gonna happen? They're gonna look at your submission. Oh, Lewis, garbage.
No. I don't get the dignity of littering. They're just gonna eat it.
So we're gonna begin with our two of our topics. We have two topics today. But majority of the discussion today will be taking care of the Comicsgate, but to warm up to it, because there's a lot of contents in there, and I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys want to comment too as well and give us your take. We're going to begin with Zack Snyder's Justice League, and Lewis, phone's ringing. Lewis,
they always know.
Lewis tells me that I'm very biased about this. I told him, yes, I am, but it's also big news. Okay. One, I want to rub it in everyone's face who thought that this was never going to happen. Not you, Lewis. Roberto, one of them. That's him right there.
I wasn't there for that conversation.
Oh my God, you were there. You were there in that conversation.
No, you want to know why I wasn't there? Because I was fucking working.
No, but you were there physically. He literally told me in my face. He's like, "It's never gonna happen." Thing. Do you really think that really exists? That's some kind of conspiracy theory kind of thing. He's, you know him. But now that I told him, I remember when it first.
Do I know him? Because you seem to know him a lot better than I do.
I remember too as well when they finally announced it's gonna come out. He's like, "Well, it's still gonna suck." That's basically the argument of everyone who denied it. It's still gonna suck. Man. And not only that's gonna suck, but it's also long, so it's gonna suck even longer.
For all those that don't know, Roberto's main job is at a mall.
You don't have to tell people where he works.
I said at a mall. And R.I.P. He had to go back to work about like almost a month ago.
So R.I.P.
He didn't die. He's just like, man.
I was gonna say, is it IR?
Like that's such a high risk right now. I feel so bad for him.
Yeah, Miami's breaking records, man. Well, wait, I'll play it. Say it later. I have the thing, but you
can't do the soundboard.
It's not. I'll put it in later. But anyways, so let's get back to Zack Snyder's Justice League. I'm gonna do a split screen here again. Essentially, why is it big news? Is because of this thing right here. The black suit. He revealed the first clip for his Justice League that the black suit actually exists. It's right there. That part where Alfred was meeting up with Clark Kent, with Superman. It's essentially it's real. It's literally real. Now, this might not be a big surprise to everyone because we've seen this scene before, and it's like an uncut version, right? We've seen this clip circulate, but what we've seen before is that I'm going to pause it right here for everyone who's in the podcast. We're pausing the scene, which you already probably seen before. Right there, at this scene right here, on the uncut version that's been circulating around, his suit was still the traditional blue and red, right? It turns out that was colored in. Essentially, he's been wearing the black suit the whole time, and Josh Whedon literally colored in the Superman suit. So when he
that would explain why like a lot of his suit like very CGI'd.
It looked weird, right? It looked very weird.
Right? I thought like all the suits were practical, like actual suits, and then Only his look like they CG'd on. Like, was he
Like, it was
just
bright.
naked through the entire thing? Just
It
get
was-
that nice skin tight form?
Yeah, it was very bright blue and red. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it was
like
really bright.
like somebody like went and got a Sharpie and started going at him.
It just highlighted the thing, right?
So let me just put my 2 cents here. If Comicsgate, it's one word. That's why I hate saying it. Is a real thing. Mulletgate, man.
Yeah, we were talking about this before we started.
Hashtag Mulletgate. Give me back my mullet.
Yeah, we both agreed that me and Lewis both agreed that they should have had the mullet
Superman.
Yeah,
like that was a good looking Superman.
Yeah, if he had a mullet, that would have been really good.
I mean, like that's really like that's going deep in the comics.
Yeah, but he never had the mullet, so
potato,
but it's real,
potato.
Yeah, but essentially the takeaway is real. So
all I care about, just give me a Dark Side movie already, man.
Yeah, so essentially this clip serves 2 things. One is that he's showing you that he's going true to the books, and two, essentially when before he revealed that, you know what he said? Somebody asked him if there's going to be some cuts of Whedon's stuff in there. He's like, I'd rather. No. He didn't say no. He said it in a very polite and nice way that he would rather burn the freaking movie than actually have anything that he did not shoot. He never said that Whedon shot. He said, I'd rather not do it and burn this whole thing down than then show something that I never shot. That's what he said.
Did you want to hear something that you might not want to hear, but it's probably going to end up true?
Yeah.
They're going to hate this version of the Justice League just as much as they hate the other one.
How do you figure?
Because it's not really much of a difference other than very specific details.
Well, so far, when this came out, so far the report says that he did say that his Justice League is 3 hours. But
I would like to watch a 5-hour Lord of the Rings,
but now he said that it's actually longer. So, as you know, George and I have talked about how Zack Snyder makes long films, long explanation, long films. And this is not an exception. I think that it's almost... It feels like Superman 1 and 2, the original one with Christopher Reeves. If you guys know about the story about Superman 1 and 2, Richard Donner, there's a Donner cut for Superman, right? Superman 2. Yeah, Superman 2. So essentially what ended up happening was he shot Superman 1 and 2 in the same time. And then they used some footage from Superman 1 to put a number 2, and then some number 2 to put a number 1. So it's kind of like all mixed up. So when the Donner cut came out, you'll see footage of number 1 and number 2 and number 2 and number 1. It's actually pretty cool. So because it's like one big story, right? So it has that kind of feel. But what's your reaction on the black suit, Lewis? Like when you first saw it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? I mean, like we all saw a glance of it when they teased it.
Lore-wise, it makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
It's the resurrection of Superman was originally a black suit, but there was what was it, like an alternate universe Superman or something like that? It was very ambiguous. It was very hard to tell in the 90s what any of this ever meant because it kept changing the story around.
Right.
And the reason for the mullet is because for some odd reason that accelerated his healing factor, which made him just grow his hair. Yeah. And by coming back to life, he lost a lot of his abilities, which over time he gained back because he was more exposed to solar radiation.
Yeah, he was in the pod matrix. He was in the matrix pod, the thing that took him to Earth.
Yeah, and that really shielded him from solar radiation.
Yeah, but that's basically the Eradicator helping him heal and that.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
essentially, it's not like
because
he's gonna
probably they thought the irradiation would be bad for him, so
like
let's
like I
just heal
think
him normally.
I think the Eradicator is like, I'm here to heal you and like preserve your life. I'm not here. I'm not your barber.
I know. And if we
like, I'm not
expose
your
it,
barber.
and you can make some argument if they exposed him to radiation to heal him that way, it'd be a lot harder to like commit to like surgical procedures because then you have to go through invulnerable skin.
Yeah, that's true.
And then expose him to kryptonite to weaken him again. So it's a loop of just stop all radiation. Let's get him into like a normal physique, and then we can help him.
I just think that the Eradicator is like, I'm not your barber, dude. It's like, I'm not your barber, man. Do your thing. So
it's the Eradicator. That was the Superman, like robot, right?
No, that's the cyborg Superman. So there was like the reign of Superman. So
no. There was a cyborg Superman, and there was one very specific robot Superman.
What the hell are you talking? Robot Superman?
And there was a lot of fucking like random ass history in Superman. It starts getting confusing because it all sounds the same.
Okay, so these are the when he died. This is the Superman that came out. There was Cyborg Superman. There was John Henry, which is Steel. There was the Eradicator.
Very short-lived.
There was Eradicator, and then there was Superboy, the original Superboy.
Fun, the one that broke dimensions.
No. Different Superboy.
Not that one.
No, not that one.
God,
there's another jacket.
Oh, cool Superboy. Oh yeah, I remember him. They brought him back recently.
And then there's the Eradicator. The Eradicator is basically.
No, you already. That was 3. You said Eradicator was 3.
Okay, so the Eradicator is it's an AI that took his form, and his main purpose is to preserve life.
Yeah, so that's the same one we're talking about.
Preserve Kryptonian life. But he also became a villain. But he's not a robot. He wasn't a robot. He was an AI.
Yeah, it was kind of like what. The only way to describe it is in the Man of Steel movie, he was essentially Zod. He only cared Kryptons for Kryptonians. Everything else doesn't matter. Get out of my way.
Nothing else matters but get out of my way.
Yeah.
Okay.
This building is in my way. I will not destroy it to get to him.
Okay. Well, now that we got that all out of the way, there was other topics that we had, and this became a last minute thing because of what happened with just how big this thing became.
Yeah, thanks for making me read about 8 different articles for one topic. And that's probably just the surface.
So let me put it this way, okay? Let me put it this way. San Diego Comic-Con at home took place on Wednesday, and it ended today. But this story about Comicsgate is so fucked that
it's been over a year in the making.
It overthrew everything else that happened in San Diego
Nobody gave 2 shits about San Diego Comic-Con.
Nobody gave 2 shits about it anymore. It's like, it's insane. Like there was The Boys reveal, the trailer for season 2. Did you see it?
It doesn't even come out of my recommended.
It was amazing.
It doesn't come out of my recommended. But nobody cared. And I've seen the reveal, the first trailer, like 4 times.
Yeah. Just to let everybody know, go ahead and watch the reveal trailer for season 2.
The second trailer, not the first.
Yeah. And the fact that they got renewed for season 3 already, and 2 is not even out, that's amazing too as well, right? Or what about the fact that the Eisner winners this year, majority of them are indie creators? You know what I mean? So, what's up, Nate? So essentially, it got over. It just didn't matter. Why did it not matter? Is because of Comicsgate. Now, what is Comicsgate? Okay, I'm gonna try my best to let you guys know the short version of it, but I will tell you guys this. I'm gonna do a split screen in here. If you guys want to know Comicsgate 101, Comics Guide 101 actually did a pretty good explanation of what it is and where it started. He also gives your opinion about Comicsgate. Okay, so if you go to your YouTube after you guys watch this, go to Comics Guide 101 and then click then search the story of Comicsgate. and then it'll tell you a good history of what it is. Okay, but I'm going to tell you guys a short version of it. Okay, Comicsgate is basically a movement of selective creators, writers and artists, and essentially they are talking about how they want to make, oh man, how should I say this? They want to make comic book great again. Essentially, that's what it was.
I'm gonna like dumb down what you're trying to, what their perceived goal is to the public, and they've kind of like really reinforced it over time, is like the stopping of forced diversity in comics.
So to be okay, so I'll
by the way, forced diversity.
Well, I'll add on. Yeah, forced diversity is basically something as a theme of what Comicsgate is, and I'll add on to that too as well to just let you guys know when Lewis means forced diversity, meaning you guys know it as SJWs. Okay, they feel like comic books nowadays, publishers are forcing down your throats their agenda of social justice warrior type of books. Okay, are they wrong?
Like a weird case of cancel culture versus SJW going head to head. It's kind of interesting, funny, and kind of like, okay, so this is where we're at right now.
Now, one of the question is, are they wrong? No, they're not wrong. Are they right? No, they're also not right.
They're technically not wrong, but they're really not right.
But they're also not right. They're really not right, right? Just like any other movement, there are individuals within that movement that are giving Comicsgate a very negative
perception
kind of thing. Do I agree with Comicsgate? No, I do not agree with Comicsgate 100%. I do not agree with it.
I kind of like, you can get behind what is the sentiment, like any movement. You can get behind the sentiment, but you can't really go behind their actions.
Yeah, I don't agree with Comicsgate. Lewis doesn't agree with Comicsgate too as well. It's just very hateful in a way. That's the thing. Now that we give you guys like a small rundown of what it is, we'll give you guys the controversy that happened over the week. So the first controversy that happened over the week was there was an article that came out that the CEO and chief publisher of Dynamite Comics actually quit. He quit. He's like, fuck it, I don't want to be in Dynamite anymore.
If I were to say what was he guilty of, I would say it's very inside trader-ish.
Inside trade.
Think about everything he did. And doesn't that make you think, wow, that's some inside trader shit?
Okay, so what Lewis was trying to get to is that the CEO and chief publishing officer of Dynamite Comics, what he did was he partnered up with Comicsgate and allowed them to make variant covers of their books, their properties, I should say, Red Sonja, Vampirella, and all that stuff, and allowed their characters to feature in Comicsgate characters. And obviously that made rounds and people didn't like that because of what Comicsgate stands for. So he quit. Not only that, but there's new books coming out in San Diego Comic-Con that they featured Red Sonja and Vampirella. The creators there also was taken out of the video cast that's happening over the weekend because of it. A lot of there's also some of the artists that's actually part of Comicsgate is now removed from DC Comics. Warren Ellis is one of them too as well. Warren Ellis he was supposed to be the writer for the new Batman book coming out. They took him out, right? So you guys pretty much are somewhat understanding of how serious what Comicsgate does. They want their mind frame of comic books is just one trail. it should be this way, and that way. I don't like progression. I don't like change. Fuck it, go away. That's basically how they view things, right? They hate everybody who's a writer that has some progressive agenda. They don't like the fact that there's politics in comic books where them themselves are becoming they themselves are becoming a political movement on its own in comic books. It's a complete contradiction, as well as some sort of like it's a complete contradiction in itself, right? They're being political of like not being political. It's so dumb, right? It's like an oxymoron on its own, right?
But that's politics is in and of itself is an oxymoron. The more you stand for something, the more you're being political for it. The less you don't care for either way, the less you actually are. So the less you care, the less you're being political. The more you care, the more you can escape that. So in and of itself, it's oxymoron.
Pretty much. So that happened. Okay. Now, in the midst of that happening, a few days later, I'm gonna do a split screen in here. A few days later, Tom King, I follow Tom King on Twitter too as well. Great guy.
Social justice warrior.
He came out and said, today DC put out an alternative cover of Rorschach by Jay Lee, who has also done covers for Comicsgate. I hate DC does not consult creators on alternate covers. I reached out to them and expressed my deep disappointment. Far as I'm concerned, he meant as far as I'm concerned, this is the cover for Rorschach #1. Now, let's try to break that down before we talk about Jay Lee's response. Okay, one, let's talk about Jay Lee. Jay Lee is actually a pretty good illustrator. It's a specific taste, but he's pretty good. I like him. Right? His colorist is actually his wife too as well. It's actually pretty cool. You know, there's famous couples who does coloring and then shading and then illustration.
Very hard to get for signatures since you need to get both of them.
Yeah, prominent one is her name is like in the tip of my Amanda Connor. Amanda Connor, basically, her husband actually Jimmy Palamati actually does the coloring for her too.
Palamati.
So he came out with that, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong in the fact that Comicsgate is a hate group. Okay, are they completely hate group? I mean, like they're just people who knows what they want.
They're in a very simplistic way. They're comic book purists.
They're purists. But the thing is that there's so much of a purist that they try to convert you to their own beliefs.
That they're essentially, weirdly enough, for you to understand, they're a cult. They believe in one way only. Yeah.
What they're saying is that we're right and you're wrong. So follow us.
Yes,
exactly what that is. Right? So there are a lot of hate that's going on with Comicsgate as a culture. So he's not wrong with that. What he is wrong about, and as much as I love Tom King, what he is wrong about
is not talking to Jay Lee first.
Is that one, he didn't talk to Jay Lee about it first. And number two,
it's like what Tom King is wrong about, it's kind of like you're guilty, like you're guilty. Damn it. They're not innocent until proven guilty. He was guilty before proven innocent. Am I saying this wrong? My brain hurts by saying it backwards. Because so you're guilty of a crime that you weren't proven to commit.
Right. So essentially this. Okay. So I think what you're trying to say. Okay.
Yeah, my brain broke in that one moment. I hate saying it backwards because it sounds so stupid.
Your brain kind of broke a little bit. So essentially, let me put it this way. Big artists and writers have representatives.
Strong opinions.
Yeah, they have strong opinions. They have representatives to actually help them out with that. Say don't say that, don't do this, and whatnot. Right. So essentially,
something Donald Trump will never have.
So essentially, okay, let's one at a time, Louis.
Okay. Let's not get too political.
One at a time, okay. This is already
freedom from my opinion.
This is already too much to handle already.
I could use an Advil right now.
Okay, so they have representatives and they have people that actually you tell them don't say that, you're racist, that kind of thing. Okay. Tom King's representative should have seen it.
Told him, talk to him first.
Talk to them first and say, don't send that.
Hey man, how come you're doing this and this?
Yeah. Is that Tom King's fault? No. He can say whatever he wants, and that's completely fine. That's his right. But he should have talked to his publicist first and his representative first, and that's on the representative side, because you should have definitely
especially with someone with such a large audience. He's a very public figure in the current meta of the world. And once we get through with this, in the end of the day, he just made himself look like an asshole.
Yeah. So now let's talk about
Jay Lee's side.
What?
The Jay Lee side of the story.
Let's look at Jay Lee's side of the story. So, Jay Lee's side of the story, essentially what he said.
Oh wait, before we get to what he says, just as some context, Jay Lee barely goes on social media.
He does,
and at barely at best, once every 2 weeks, he just posts something he drew.
Yeah, once in a while, he'll just post something that he drew,
and then he'll shut it up, not care about the world.
Jay
Lee is the most in the middle person you'll probably ever meet, because he doesn't want drama. He just, here's my art. I hope you enjoy it. Yeah. Whatever criticisms you gotta say, my Twitter's off.
So, like what we said before, he should have talked to Jay Lee first. So now Jay Lee, about a couple of hours ago, or a few hours ago, sent out a retraction in there. Well, not a retraction, sorry.
No. He gave his side.
Yeah, he sent out a response from his Instagram.
And why it took so long, he will be explained right now.
So essentially, he sent a response. He said right here, you can read all this right here, right now. You can see it, right, Louis?
Yeah, no. I already have it in front of me.
Okay. No, I mean on the screen. It's a dual screen. So I'm just
I can see it here, but I also have that. I never shut off articles that I've read for this ever.
So essentially, this is his response. Okay, so you can read it through, but we're gonna take the better half of it.
The better half
that involves Comicsgate. It says right here, instead of part of the internet, I avoided like a plague, became barging in. I had companies working with, calling me, friends, reaching out to me, and sees a lot of hate because of what Tom King said. I'm seeing for the first hand how lies are spreading. Let me be clear. I am not part of any group. Now, before we move forward, let's take that whole part right there. I am not part of any group. Let's go back to what Lewis mentioned. Tom King should have reached out to Jay Lee and asked him about it before sending that out, because he just said he's not part of any group. Now, let's look at the Jay Lee side. Is he part of Comicsgate? He may or may not be. Just because he said he's not part of that group doesn't necessarily mean that he is not part of that group. Do you see what I'm saying? He is still a freelance. He's not exclusive to anyone. He is still freelance artist, right?
He gets contacted by his agent. And then
he doesn't. And he doesn't, right?
Hey, I have a commission for you. This is what they want. And he's like, okay, yes, no.
Yeah. But
that's it.
But let's just say, but let's also take for word that he is not part of any group at all. Any hate group, no, nothing like that.
And if he's off social media like he says he is, I 100% believe him.
The only thing that you could do right now is take his word for it that he's not part of Comicsgate. So let's take his word for it and say that he is not part of Comicsgate. Fantastic. The thing is that Tom King should have asked Jay Lee first. Hey, are you part of Comicsgate? No, I'm not. Fantastic.
Are you part of Comicsgate? Like before that? What? No, it's kind of like, hey, do you know anything about Comicsgate at all?
Yeah, engagement.
And that's kind of like, you shouldn't, like, that's the way you said it's almost like you were accusing him being part of that group. Yeah. And then you can use psychological play all day. But if you start a conversation like, do you know anything about this group?
Right.
And if you get him a yes or no, then you can go on and be saying, like, are you part of it?
Yeah.
And so forth.
The only reason why I'm 50-50 on whether he is telling the truth or not is because the comic book community within artists is very, very small, right? If one artist goes to a comic book store and does a signing, let's just say on a Monday, and nobody comes, he's going to tell people about it. And those artists will know about it too as well, right? So it's very small. So what it takes to as well is that if you read on this, he'll say that he doesn't know about Comicsgate too as well. It's very hard to not know about Comicsgate. That's the thing, right?
And if you do take his word on it that like what you just said, he is a freelancer, so he doesn't have to necessarily always be in one place like most other writers and artists are. It could be the case because he's off social media. He doesn't really care too much about it.
Right.
It's kind of like, this is a job, not a passion.
Exactly.
I'm going to take the money. I'm going to do the work. It's very possible.
Yeah.
He even tells his agent, like, I don't want to know who I'm getting the job from. I just need to know what they want. It's very possible that he doesn't know.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay.
I didn't know about Comicsgate until you just told me today.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Both parties, Jay Lee and Tom King, are in the wrong in here, right? As much as I love Jay Lee's art, and I do in certain situation, like if you put him in Justice League Dark, it looks amazing. He did that for a while. Justice League Dark was amazing. He was in Batman, Superman. I didn't like it, right?
I liked a couple of his Batmans.
Yeah, the tone wasn't there. Okay, I like Jay Lee's art. Not only that I like Jay Lee's art, that he was supposed to actually come to our store when we had a brick and mortar at one point. Okay, he was supposed to be there. Tom King, I love his writing. Is it perfect? No, of course not. No one's perfect. His writing,
you just gotta find that you enjoy it.
Like the thing is that I loved the War and Jokes of Riddles. I love that arc. Right, I love the arc leading to the wedding. Right, I loved it when he took over Scott Snyder. But the thing is that both parties are not saints in here. Okay, no one is right. Both parties are wrong. Tom King should have actually reached out to Jay Lee and say, "Hey, what's going on?" His rep should have been like, "Yo, don't tweet that." Jay Lee,
don't make yourself look like this.
Yeah, Jay Lee should have done his research.
No, Jay Lee shouldn't have stayed ignorant. That's his only crime.
Yeah, well, the thing is that he should have known too as well, right?
But that's part about going back into the whole fact that he decided to stay ignorant, not be informed of what's going on, and just take the commissioned work and.
Yeah, well, I mean, so both parties are wrong at this. Okay, no one is right. Okay, I think that both parties should have had an engagement in here first before this thing blew up. Now, what's happening is that Comicsgate is having a field day right now because a movement that should never have existed is now in the forefront of everything.
I wouldn't say not existed. I would say more towards the fact that it shouldn't be as big as it is now.
Yeah. So someone commented here too as well. Davis Comics said that one additional issue is, why does Tom King feel that he can speak for DC? That's actually true too as well. Why does he if you're gonna speak like what we're talking about now? Hold on. So like what we're talking about right now, this is our opinion and no one else's opinion at all, right? We don't we're like a small time podcast and whatnot. We don't really matter at all, right? But our opinion is our opinion, right? We're not speaking for any other companies whatsoever, right? The thing is that what the comments why does King feel he can speak for DC? In my opinion, I don't think that he spoke for DC. I think that he spoke on his own, but the way that it came out, it as if that he was I speak for
being
DC.
a spokesman.
Yeah.
Right? A representative.
Yeah, well, when he said that, I spoke to DC and told people my disappointment.
Yeah, he dropped DC's name before he even got to his argument.
Yeah, when he said that I spoke to DC and told them my disappointment, it feels like, I don't know what he was trying to say, but it feels like it came out as if I have all this to talk to them about it, kind of thing. That's what it came out as, right? Again, perception is reality. This is my perception, and I think this is what happened. I don't know. You have to actually talk to Tom King and what he meant by I spoke to DC about it.
Yeah, you gotta hope that you DM him and he gives you back context.
The one thing that we do know is that both parties are wrong, and they should have just spoke to each other. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand I also understand what Nolan is saying, that he got caught in the moment before getting the facts. That is true. He got caught in the moment before.
If you look at a lot of Tom King's older tweets, he's a very high passioned, highly opinionated person who, in a moment will just post something before he really kind of fully kind of thinks it through, and you kind of feel that it's just raw emotion he's typing, and it's not really
right.
What's happening.
So I mean, again, it's one of those. Yeah. So again, it's one of those things where when we were kids, you know what our parents used to say? They tell you to think before you say anything.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world just because it's happening now.
Yeah, because it's happening now. So what I was trying to get to is that I'm going to get back to my point that essentially, Comicsgate is having a field day on this. Okay? Having a field day. What does that mean? Well, one of their outspoken members, or I should say leaders, one of the creators, that's very outspoken about Comicsgate, and they're like, yo, he's fucking gung-ho about Comicsgate, yay, kind of thing, right? One very outspoken leader, I should say, or whatnot of Comicsgate, Ethan Van Sciver. I don't care if I mispronounce it.
Jesus.
I don't fucking.
We're pulling string here at this point, man. You can't go back. You just can't go all hypocrite on me right now, bro.
I don't fucking care. Ethan Van Sciver, essentially one of the most outspoken members of or creators of Comicsgate, essentially have this. This is one of his podcasts. Okay, it's one of his podcasts, all caps, comics in there. He has it all the time. He put out about 5 hours ago, and he talked about Jay Lee standing up against Tom King in cancel culture. Okay, I'm gonna take this out, and I'm gonna make this point. Jay Lee didn't stand up to cancel culture at all. He's not part of your shit. You know what I mean?
Jay Lee went on the record he will not accept any more work from Comicsgate anymore.
Yeah, he's not part of your shit. He did not stand up.
He didn't make public comments.
No.
He didn't put his stand on it. He says, leave me out of your shit
alone.
I just want work. And if you read all the way to the bottom, you can quote him by he quoted it in, let me see. This isn't the start of a conversation. This is the end. So please don't drag me into a world I never wanted to be part of, nor will I ever want to be a part of.
Yeah. So stop trying to make Jay Lee your new spokesperson. Oh, he's standing up. Oh, Comicsgate this. No, leave the man alone, man. He's not part of your shit. He's not part of anyone's shit. He just wants to draw. That's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, make an old meme relive again. Leave Britney alone. Leave Jay Lee alone.
Leave Britney alone, man.
No, leave Jay Lee alone. He doesn't want it.
Yeah, he's not part of your shit. It's like, stop this shit, man.
He ain't part of anybody's shit. Either side. For or against.
He is a freelance artist. He does freelance stuff. Stop putting him into a group.
Just take your tiny win of saying I will not accept work from them again.
If you guys don't know who Ethan Van Shaver is, I'm gonna show you guys a picture of him.
Oh man, there's like at least 15 articles on this.
This is Ethan Van Shaver, and yes, he is a professional Santa Claus during the summer.
I can see that. Like Chad Santa. Did my internet break? Or was that? Is this all Tim?
Well, for DC, most prominently too, as well as what he did 2 years ago with Dark Knight's Death Metal. This one right here. This was his 3-part connecting cover for Dark Knight's Death Metal in there. Ethan Van Shaver, I believe, took over for Tyler took over for Ethan Van Shaver in Green Lantern. So Tyler Kirkham took over Green Lantern at the time. So what he has, and he's
hey Tim, are you breaking up or is it me?
It was you.
Is it?
So essentially, so you can fix it while I'm talking. It doesn't matter. So essentially, he has a podcast that happens almost, I think, every day. I think so. Essentially, it's called Cyberfrog. He's trying to self-fund something called Cyberfrog. That's his creator-owned, right? And to his credit, I'll tell you this much. To his credit, and this is something me and Lewis could never ever achieve if we were to do a crowdfunding for what is the creator-owned with the bear, the polar bear thing again? The man, I forgot about it too. Now it's
This is why it's all intellectual property.
For Vampire Rares. If we were to do a creator-owned for Vampire Rares,
ever even get 10% of what that man has gotten.
Yeah, so we would not get any percentage, okay? If you guys research Cyberfrog, okay, this is right now one of the most successful crowdfunding for an original self-publication idea from a creator. It's what is it right now? $1.2 million funded around there.
Like, I don't want to look. I'm happy for them in a weird way, but it doesn't look that interesting.
No, it's not. But the reason why it got funded,
and there is some like stuff that I will willing to plug that I think it looks really cool. I think it has a great premise. And even those barely touch 1% of what they've made.
Yeah. But because the thing is that his crowd is Comicsgate, right? He feeds into that crowd, right? That crowd hates comic books nowadays because they're trying to shove this, social justice warrior shit on you. So I'll tell you this much, okay? The only thing
forced diversity. They're against forced diversity.
Forced diversity. The only thing that here's what I will tell you. Okay, here's what I will tell you. The thing about Comicsgate is that they don't like it. They don't like it if they're forcing it down your throat. Nobody likes it to get forced down your throat. Don't worry. I mean, like, I don't like it when shit gets forced down my throat too as well.
Just don't buy it.
Just don't buy it. Exactly. Right? What was that Marvel book that was supposed to come out? New Warriors? It was so bad. It was so bad that even Joe Rogan got into it, and he's like, "What is this social justice warrior shit?"
Oh, you saw that episode? He was so confused by it.
I'm confused by it too as well.
Also,
I didn't even hear about it.
They keep going from one social justice thing to another social justice thing, and the book almost felt like it was never going to come out.
I don't think it was going to, anyways. So I mean,
it was
so bad.
I think it would have done okay on sales, though.
No, it would not.
I think it would have done okay. I don't think it would have done.
Actually, it's not even out yet. It's coming out in August. It's so bad that there was a comic book store in New York that bought 500 copies because, in his opinion, no press is bad press. So he's hoping for all the bad press to happen.
And then people
he has all the copies
to understand why people don't like it. I mean, like, it's not that people don't. It's just a very confusing book.
Yeah. So
we don't know what it stands for. We don't know what it doesn't stand for.
Let me explain. New Warriors is literally an SJW book. Okay.
Which we're not against. We're just very confused on its plot.
It's literally Marvel's version of just digging it down your throat. This is social justice stuff. Buy it.
But that's nothing new for Marvel, though.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the thing. I'm not gonna buy it, right? Am I gonna start ragging on it and actually just write on the fact that this is a social justice thing? And no, man, do your thing, man. Do your thing, dude. I mean, if you don't like it,
they for a very specific group of people, and those group of people will decide if they want to buy it or they don't.
One of the biggest issues that's just
unless you're a DC book and you do really well on sales and you still cancel it anyway, I want Super Sons back. You evil monsters.
So that's just like one of the things that social justice warriors, Comicsgate actually rags on. Okay, the fact that they get too political, the comic books get too political, and that they want the old time comic books back. And we've talked about this so many times, Lewis. Comic books were born out of political statements.
Yeah, look at one of my favorite, which because it really was written funnily. It was Superman versus the Ku Klux Klan. So funny. It was just such a random thing to occur.
Yeah. Literally the one of the most popular characters in comic books is born out of political views and to motivate people to go up against an uprising of evil, which is fucking Captain America. Captain America was born out of fucking political shit. His name is Captain America. I mean, come on.
And to your point, his entire suit is the American flag.
Yeah.
Until Civil War.
And there's a comic book of him punching fucking Hitler. I mean, come on, man.
Right.
So, I mean, how can you say that comic books are getting too political and they're too social justice shit? That's what comic books are.
I think the problem is that a lot of people are not agreeing with the political views that are being written, and that's their controversy on it. And I kind of blame it now that because of the internet in and of itself gives a lot more voices gives more voices to people in a grander scale compared to before. You could actually see the current public opinion more from second to second versus before. If you wanted to have something said or something like that, you would have to like write a letter, take time to think about it. Now it's just like, whatever you're feeling right now, go tell us. And we have no time to process that, like how we actually feel about it. Do we even really care that much to aggro? But because the internet makes it easily accessible, then that's kind of like we get.
And one of the arguments that Comicsgate has is that the culture has become too sensitive now. I mean, I agree. It's become too sensitive. I understand that. Okay, it became too sensitive.
In my opinion, is love what you love. Talk about what you love.
Yeah.
And if you hate something, like, sure, you can still talk about that, But you can't state that you want it gone because you yourself don't like it.
Yeah, but the thing is that the culture that we live in, it is very sensitive, and you just have to live with it. And just like any other businesses, you have to adapt. DC and Marvel are adapting to it. Okay,
they are trying to go for a younger market, and the older community does not like it.
Yeah, here's what I will tell you. Okay, my take on this is this: do not focus on the distraction, focus on the problem. Okay, the distraction is DC and Marvel. Tom King, Jay Lee. Dynamite Comics, that's basically the distraction.
Ethan Van Shaver.
Yeah, that is the distraction. Ethan Van Shaver, believe it or not, also a distraction. The problem is Comicsgate. Comicsgate is the problem. Okay?
And they're very loud and opinionated community.
Don't mistake the problem from the distraction. The problem is Comicsgate. They're using the distraction of DC and Marvel becoming catering to a crowd as a distraction. That's what it is. Okay? And don't get me wrong, okay? We may be actually expressing our opinions against Ethan Van Shaver and Comicsgate and whatnot.
But we're not saying that he should not express his opinion.
Yeah. Listen, Ethan Van Shaver has his own opinion. Comicsgate community has their own agenda, right? The type of following that Comicsgate has, me and Lewis will never ever reach that kind of following. The kind of money,
if we're consistent in a few years, maybe.
The amount of money that Ethan Van Shaver has achieved to actually crowdfund his book, we would never achieve that kind of money.
That I 100% agree with you. I will never achieve that accomplishment. So for that, I applaud you.
We would never achieve that. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, do not get distracted, and do not get distracted. Do not confuse distraction from the problem itself. The problem itself is Comicsgate. The distraction is basically just DC and Marvel trying to adapt to it, and Tom King's issue with Jay Lee's stuff and all that stuff. Those are the distraction. Okay?
And a lot of consequences have come out of it that a lot of their bigger creators from Dynamite are just plain as day quitting.
Yeah. So, and here's the thing too as well. Okay. And I was talking to my sister-in-law about this too as well. Just because somebody speaks,
an artist's point of view.
Yeah. Just because someone can speak with such conviction and such confidence doesn't necessarily mean that they are correct.
Or that they actually believe in anything they're actually saying.
Yeah.
That's the greatest part about it.
Yeah, just because professional summertime Santa Claus Ethan Van Shaver can actually talk so.
And just because I don't think this got through, but I called him Santa Chad.
But just because that he speaks in such conviction and he's done all this stuff for DC and Marvel and whatever, doesn't necessarily mean that he is right. Okay, just because
in a weird way, what you're trying to say is just. Damn it! I lost it. Go ahead. Never mind. My brain broke.
What I'm trying to say is that don't let those guys basically change your mind or your viewpoints. Do your research, and when I mean do your research is this. Okay, a lot of people would do research and be like, "Oh, I did my research and it supported what I'm talking about." No. Okay, don't do your research based on your opinion because that makes no sense. Read arguments on both sides. Okay,
I read 8 articles for this. It hurt my brain.
Yeah. Read articles based on social justice warrior stuff and Comicsgate stuff. Read both arguments and then end with a conclusion on your own. Let the facts lead you to an answer. Don't have an answer and then start researching, because that makes no sense. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense, right? Like, yes, me and Lewis don't like Comicsgate. We don't like Comicsgate. Did Lewis know anything about Comicsgate? He's still in the process of reading through about Comicsgate and what they're about. So he's still trying to find out. But so far, he's not liking what he's reading.
My only opinion on them is that they're a very centralized, purist, extreme group. They're not. I don't really feel like they're a hate group.
Yeah.
But they have very one-sided, extreme opinion on like non-forced diversity. Right. And in my opinion, though, I also do not like forced diversity because it just makes a lot of work cringy, and that's what I'm against. The cringiness of the forced belief system for a character that never believed in one point of view, but now are changing it, and it's not like slowly over time. It's just an immediate next day.
Right.
For me, I believe I like diversity, but because you're adding new stuff to the line. I want more content. I don't want less, very specific, catered content.
Right. So, I mean, again, form your own opinion at it. Don't go with what others are saying. That's the thing, right? That's the only thing that I can definitely let people know, right? That's why
disagree with us in the comments down below. Tim will read them. I will ignore them.
Yeah, like,
and then Tim will get back to me to shut up.
Yeah. You can definitely, you have your own opinion, and you could say that you could say that, hey, you know what, I don't like your opinion and whatnot, but that's completely fine, and that's completely your opinion, and then whatever, that's fine. But the thing is that I highly suggest people looking up what's going on with Comicsgate and what Comicsgate is about. Just because they're about this and about that doesn't necessarily mean that they're right? But Lewis and I both don't like things being shoved down our throat. We just don't buy them. We just don't read them.
Don't get me started with religion.
So we just don't read them. Treat it as this. As much as I like Michael Bendis stuff, treat it like Michael Bendis' writing. You know what I mean?
You guys try to see it from his point of view and why he's writing that way.
Treat it like a Michael Bendis is writing. Some people don't
Don't try to think of it as he's talking about you. Just try and think about he's only seeing it from his point of view.
Yeah, kind of like see the way it works with Michael Bendis is that you either like his stuff or you don't. Treat it like that. That's the way I look at things. Treat it as that, because you're not gonna get anywhere if you're just gonna take sides. Don't take sides. Enjoy comic books. That's what comic books are about. Enjoy them, read them, collect them.
Or if you're like me, you hate them, but you started it, so you're gonna finish it, and you look like a crazy person suffering through what you don't want to read, but you started it. And then you're like if you're like me, you're thinking like there has to be something good about this. I cannot let it go until I find it.
Yeah, pretty much. So,
but I'm a psychopath. Don't follow my opinion.
That's our 2 cents on it. We're not. We like Lewis is finding out he doesn't like Comicsgate. I've read enough about it. I'm still reading more stuff about it.
It's not that I dislike them. It's just that they're against more content. I'm for more content, even if it's really bad content.
Yeah. So, but if you guys want to put us in the category, trust me right now, just because we don't like Comicsgate's community is going to be like, well, if you're not with us, then you're against us. Great.
Cool.
Great.
Thanks.
Cool. Thanks. Cool. Thanks.
I don't want to be part of the community that's being called by one of the biggest creators as a hate group. I'm cool.
Yeah. Like I will quote Jay Lee and say,
Please thumb us down if you're part of Comicsgate, so we can know how many you are.
I'm gonna quote Jaylee and say, "Great, leave me alone. I am not part of any group. I just like to enjoy comics, man."
And like Jay Lee, I don't have a social media page. I'm not gonna read anything you hate about me.
So that's my opinion at it, man. I love comics. I love artists. I love the storylines. I still think that Empire should develop to something great. I'm very optimistic about it.
So far, issue 2, not that bueno, apparently.
Yeah, so I mean,
so we'll have to wait and see. They can still come back.
Yeah, it can still develop to something great. Dark Knight's Death Metal is actually turning out great. Robin King, the most diabolical freaking character I've ever read. It's amazing. Oh, you don't know what happened, did you?
Dude, I gotta get the second issue.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you a tease on what.
No spoiling. Like after the show, man.
Okay, then I'll tell you. So, most diabolical freaking. He's even more evil than fucking Batman Who Laughs. He's far more evil.
Maybe, but think of it this way: they never explained a lot of the Batman Who Laughs' plan. They just showed you the results.
No, I'm talking about like what the Robin King has done. Oh, he's fucking evil as shit. If you thought Batman putting the Flash in front of the Batmobile in order to gain the Speed Force was evil, no.
I didn't think that was evil. I thought that was really cool.
No, they topped it. They fucking topped it, man. They topped the shit out of that.
So what you're trying to say, he killed the Flash and then he cannibalized him.
Okay, so can I give you one tease on what Robin King did?
Just one. After the show. After the show.
No. I'll tell you right now. Just one. Just one.
If you think Comicsgate's gonna like give us negative reviews, that spoiler is gonna like 100% all down, thumbs down. Do not dare.
Who cares?
Do not dare. I care. I care about the longevity of this crappy show getting higher.
By the way, I'll tell you this much though. There is one thing that I didn't tell you about.
You tell people like, man, I'm having a stressed day. It's like, okay, that's fine. Do you want me to tell you about it? No.
There's one thing I didn't tell you about what the Comicsgate community has done in comic book stores. Okay, here's what I didn't tell you, and you're gonna get to this part. Okay, did you know that if you are not for Comicsgate community, right, and you have a store, they will fucking review bomb the shit.
Yeah, no. I read that.
Oh, you read that one. You read that one, right?
I read that, and I read the harassing of very certain minority creators.
Did you hear about the trashing comic book stores?
The review bombing?
No, trashing. Like literally physically going there and trashing their comic book stores.
Well, you know what that is? You have them on camera, report them to the police.
Well, what are you going to report?
What do you mean?
What are you going to report? Like Comicsgate people came to my store and did that shit?
No. That very certain individual came in here, threw garbage all over my store.
Oh yeah, well yeah, yeah.
No, not Comicsgate. This has nothing to do with Comicsgate. This is literally committing crimes.
No, it is. It is the community.
No. Like if we just go back to the basis, we take all this. This is random people committing crimes.
Yeah. So, but that's another topic in there, and then we're not gonna touch on that. That's their own thing. Whether it's true or not, whatever. We're just letting you know what is being written, right? Besides that, like I said before, we're not in any group. Louis and I are not in any group. We're not part of Comicsgate. We don't like Comicsgate. We're not part of a social justice warrior. We don't like things being shoved down our throat. We just love comic books. We love the art. We love the fucking writing. Okay. That's all we do.
Comment down below if you want us to start a very contradicting social movement against a social movement.
Okay, well, let me ask you this.
We'll get a big following for no reason.
Okay, let me ask you this before we go. What kind of social movement would you be starting?
Comicsgate versus Comicsgate.
Just like that, like Civil War.
No. Just essentially, like, our whole thing is forced diversity. We double down.
Double down the forced diversity.
Yeah.
Just force it down people's throats.
No, you didn't like it before. We weren't trying before. Now we're trying.
So stupid.
Before it was just coincidence that we were trying to take risks on new content. Now we're just doing to piss you off.
All right, well, that's it for today. I mean, again, form your own opinion, guys. Form your own opinion. You know,
and commit to the civil war against the cancel forced diversity. We are for forced.
So, form your own opinion. That's the way I look at things. Form your own opinion. Do your own research on it. You know, again, I want to stress this out, just like what Jay Lee stressed out. We're not part of any group. We're not part of we're not part of Comicsgate, and we're not part of social justice warrior shit. Okay,
Wink.
We're just letting you guys know that you should enjoy comic books. Okay, these things are made for you guys to enjoy, to be admired. Okay, comic books are a modern day masterpiece. It's the only medium that you have two forms of art, physical arts and basically the art of writing. Okay, enjoy it, right? So don't try to make it anything more than it actually is, right? With that being said, Lewis, do you have any final words for anybody?
Please join the movement.
So
we are not part of any movement. We are not part. Hashtag not part of any movement.
That movement. No, not part of any movement.
We are not a cancel culture about cancel culture.
Comicsgate culture. So stupid.
Green line everything. Hashtag green line everything.
Hashtag greenlight everything. All right, well, that's it for this week's We Got Issues. Tomorrow we are going to make an announcement too as well. Our giveaway for this month's pre-orders. It's gonna be a big one. It's courtesy of our friend John Boy Myers. We're gonna post that by tomorrow. But until then, thank you for viewing this, and for everyone listening to Spotify, thank you for spending the time. Until then, I will see you guys next week. Peace out.